Yo, yo, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Welcome
Good
everybody to
morning,
the
Raja.
best
Good morning,
Forex
everyone.
live stream in the world. We are back here
This woman probably.
once again.
Yes, yes.
Wow, looks like GJ. So my analysis from yesterday, the Asian analysis was the daily to continue going bullish and stay bullish, but I guess it went bullish and came down. So looking at from a 4 hour perspective, wow, what a mess 4 hours. 4 hour tapped into this resistance, came down, tapped into the support. So are we presently in this active range? Yeah, it's in the range.
Morning, coach.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, we're in a range. I would wait for this 1 hour to close and see what happens, because just by looking at it, it seems like it didn't break the low, but it broke the high, so it may seem like it may go up, but it's better to wait for it to close. 30-minute here too, because if we get a bullish close on the 30-minute as well, then there's a higher chances for price to continue moving up. So we got this 32 range where price can go up to. But for sells, I would want to take sells below, 132,600. Continue down to this area here. Man, I'm
Coach,
having
I
the.
sent my GCAT trade as soon before it even happened to the chat
Oh, in the Zoom chat?
on your WhatsApp chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna look at it here soon. I saw your chart somewhere there, as I was going through the messages.
With me, coach?
Yeah.
Hold up, I'll get it. No problem, my friend, no problem.
Oh. All right, what's this? Bias. We will go up because daily kind of respected the low. Okay. This is the 1 hour chart. Man, you got a wide screen here. uh, Waiting for a break. Yeah, it looks good. Same thing. I mean, sells below here and buys. Even though if I see a bullish kind of forming, that would give me enough confirmation to take buys to continue on. But you're right. So far, just waiting.
Check the chart, coach. That's when I got out because it ran into a little traffic on the top. My TP was 7,500, but I closed before because I just saw traffic.
Oh, nice. What are these boxes?
That's the sessions. That's Asian, London, and New York.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
So that's the New York one you're pointing at right now.
Yeah. That's good.
Same as yesterday.
Wallah, Habibi. Wallahi. So good. Hey Raja, first time posting a chart? Well, I think you posted the wrong way because I don't see it. Wow, gold also went bullish. Made that support. This is from yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, before I sent the analysis. Boom. How many pips was this? Like 200? 1,500. Close.
Oh, shit.
There isn't enough range for gold to buy, right? Yeah. See, now gold is now reaching this resistance here. If you look left, gold is reaching resistance. Then we remove all this. So I mean, you can still say that gold can still continue up. I mean, till I'd say like what, 1733, 1730, because on the 30-minute we're just consolidating now. We had this big push up during London, and now it's just trying to consolidate. and then continue its push up. So basically, it's creating a base right over here, creating like a support. So you won't be able to see that support if you were if we are zoomed out like this. So you need to be zoomed in like this in order to see the support, right? And then you look left. You're like, okay, well, maybe it can come up. Let's just increase it here a little bit for explanation purposes, right? Let's say you're like, okay, it can come up over there to 1730, and then you're like, okay, how far is that? So that is, oh, 60 pips away. You're like, okay, perfect. Well, then this is going to be my support, aka, you know what it is, and then it should continue on. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be waiting day here today for GJ.
Yep.
We got some charts coming in here. GJ rejection, selling below here. Yeah, looks good. I'm basically gonna sell because if I measure this range, this is a 27 pip range. Okay. So below here we have a, yeah, not enough range. I'd probably sell below 132,600. That would be my selling. You know, it's gonna be safer. Wow, your JPY is dying. Ooh, we have some Euro news. Jesus, straight debt. All my analysis are playing up to T.
To the T.
EJ took a nasty dump.
Yeah.
Yes.
EJ went down, GJ went up, retraced, gold went up.
Holy.
Wow, what happened here for DJ? Oh, we had a lot of Euro news here. Negative, all negative. Bad. We got unemployment claims coming in
How
too.
bad they are, though.
Yeah. Fed check if he declines deepens. Oh, wow. Corona shut down. Man, this unemployment claims are going to be huge. Because, you know, government is handing out money and everyone wants that money. So everyone's going to be, hey, I'm unemployed. Yeah, these numbers are going to be big at 8:30.
Coach, would you agree that lately news has been like obviously been priced in beforehand, so there hasn't been a lot of spikes or moves when the news happens? Have you noticed that or not?
No, not really. I mean, it happened once with gold on, I think it was last week.
Okay.
But other than that, I've never really paid attention to it. Like, if it's not going to affect the way I trade, it's not going to cross my radar. Basically, let's put it that way. Like, you know, when people talk about, like, you know, like, anyway, I'm not going to touch on that subject. Alright, let's take a look here. What's this chart? Oh, wow. What's this? GJ. So buys, I agree with these buys here. Range 1, sells. I think sells would be better over here. Because you have sells from here down till here. So you're ignoring this support. It's a very strong support. You know, because you see the distance between these two supports is pretty big. So that means it's a pretty strong support. Oh shit, just gave out a secret over there.
Hey, good morning.
Hey. Yeah, if there's a big distance between two supports, that means a big support, strong support.
Yeah, it's in a range.
Mac, you've just done 2 sentences. You got
I
48.
know I'm counting, but look, when I'm replying back to you, that doesn't count, right?
4 sentences gone.
Morning,
Okay.
morning.
5.
I just typed it in the chat as well. You doing good?
Good.
Good.
6.
6.
What's this? Oh, Euro New Zealand. Price has been bearish all day, was waiting for resistance to form, entered at price, broke the low. Oh, nice. Very nice, Kaval. Wow.
Yeah, I'm at break even now, so let's see what happens.
Nice. Oh, I think EJ did the same thing, broke the 30-minute low.
Yeah, I didn't like that EJ didn't have a top wick. That was the only reason why I took you were in New Zealand instead.
Alright, what do we have here? GU. Last daily candle bullish, bias is bullish, waiting for support, create, fill the daily target. Yeah, I think it will have a easier trade once it gets out of this consolidation. Gold is getting ready to pump up over here. Seems like it.
Yeah, at least the spread is normal now.
Oh, 4-hour resistance, anticipating for a bearish candle to form for sells. Very nice. I think people's like their labeling and zone drawing is getting better and better. Because some names I see they've been here for a while, you know, and now I'm seeing their zones getting better, they're drawing them better, they're labeling the charts better. It's amazing.
Yeah, man, I reckon I'll get the same thing. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, right?
Nice to see, man. It is people making an effort, and then you can see the difference after a couple of months. I know I haven't done it long, but just in that short period of time, like 3 months, you can see definitely people that are making the effort.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Like the study of human psychology.
8.
How does
8.
one become part of the Zoom? There are special people.
Duh.
Have to be members. Same chart.
Look at Mac, yo. No. Come on, no. I'm trying to be real. Because I'm not gonna sleep in a little. Like 2 ounce and 1 trade.
A few days ago, you mentioned there's going to be special guests coming. Yes, she's coming tomorrow, Friday. Can you explain when you would have entered in GJ buy or sell during Asian London session? I wouldn't have, because Asian session ranged, if you look at this, and London session came down. And I can't talk about getting in a sell in London session because I wasn't awake at that time, so it makes no sense to discuss that. I'm going to talk about New York, which is happening right now, so that's better. When Paul is picking his bias lines, does he mark the wicks or the bias? How do I know, man? We are not Paul. USD CAD 30 minute. Oh wow, so many labeling. 4-hour, 1-hour strong support. Price breaks previous resistance, creates a new high. Okay. Enter the buy over here as it broke previous London past. Target 10 pips achieved. Is my entry at the right price or did I miss something important? I think it's at the right price. I mean, if your stop was right, then the price was right, and it played out. If your runner hit break even, then that's okay because 70% of my runners they hit break even. Can you cover traffic, what to look for, and avoid how far you are checking? I think on Saturday we're gonna have a refresher webinar, so we can do it on that. In the live streams, we can't because it's live market. So it's more about executing trades here. And like when the trade rolls over, then we look left for traffic and this and that. So it has to be clean, this is clean traffic. So right here, this is bad. Even down over here, you have this ranges and a very strong support. What's this chart? TJ 30 minutes. Strong resistance. Wait for break to take sell, but wait until I need to wait. But until when I need to wait? Well, you just gotta wait. It's like standing at the bus stop, but you don't have the schedule, but a bus is gonna come. But you don't know when it's gonna come, but it's gonna come. In the next 2-3 hours, the bus is gonna come, but if it doesn't come in the next 2-3 hours, then it's time to go home and come back tomorrow. That's what my whole thing is with trading. Like, I know I'm gonna take a sell below 132,600. If this happens within the next 2-3 hours, perfect. If not, then we'll come back tomorrow or Monday.
Yeah, I'm done for the day. Unless I see it a very safe trade out of that range.
Buys above this support, sells below this resistance. Perfect. I think you've got your things mixed up here a little bit. Can you make a video on how to connect the time frames candles together to enter a trade? I think you should go and stop being lazy and go to my YouTube channel. There are a lot of videos over there on my YouTube channel. Man, people are just lazy. They don't want to do research and they just come here and ask man, I'm not even going to it. Because on every topic, there's a video. And over this weekend, on next weekend, I'm going to remove all those videos. Because people don't want to watch them.
You should put them on Google
There's so many
Drive.
good ones.
Yeah.
On a Google Drive with a password.
Morning.
Good morning.
Someone buys over here in gold. Nice. Yeah, it should continue up. 30-minute created a base, talk about it. Continue to at least 7:30. 7:29, 7:30. Do you use the Stinu app? No, I use Magic Keys. Hey Raja, is price ranging? If ranging, why we take buy or sell in this range? Well, it's ranging, so we wait for price to become unranging. So below this area, it's going to not be ranging, so we take a trade. Above this little area over here, you look left, there's clean candles, so price will have easier time heading up. So we take that trade. Over here, this is ranging, we don't take any trade. So 8:30 we got unemployment claims. Wow, this would be crazy. March 3 million, 6 million, 6 million, 5 million. And oh yeah, April was 5 million. Now I wonder what the number is going to be. This is why Trump wants things to go back to normal, because he wants these numbers to come down. Because he's proud of having a really low unemployment claims, but this corona thing is really messing up his numbers, because you got elections. You have elections this year, right?
Yeah, 2020.
I think like if I like when you win election. Was that sorry?
Oh. That's your kid, Yasin?
No, that wasn't my kid. No, that wasn't my kid.
That's somebody else's kid.
I think he should let the economy slide a little bit, and then he can play the narrative that he's solved the corona. And solved,
Yeah, that's the narrative I think he's going to play off of. But he's getting a lot of heat because they're saying that he's not doing enough. On top of the thing, like he wants to open the borders in Canada, so there's a lot of there's a big dilemma happening with Trump there.
A border, like a wall?
Oh. No, man, just go follow the news, man. No.
Okay.
GJ 30 minutes. Oh, I entered once this level was broken. Maybe I should have waited for the breakout of the range. Any suggestions? When was this? Oh, this was in London. Yeah, I mean, it looked good. It looked promising, But at the same time, when you look left, I think we talked about this yesterday, that this is a range here. So if you watched yesterday's stream, you're gonna notice that we talked about how this area here to the left, right here. Let me bring my marker here. This whole area, this is consolidation, right? And this consolidation has a resistance right over here, and it has a support right down over here. So when price comes up to this level, which it came here in New York, it rejected it, because this was support here. And then once price came in, there's a very high chance price is going to consolidate in this area. So your buys would be better off now when price is right down over here. Your buys would be better off right above this area to go up. But once you come into this range, you would want to wait for price to break out of this range and then come up to this clean area up over here above 133,400. That's going to be a much better, easier trade to take. So I'm just going to point this out as red. This is a no trade area because there was consolidation before. So what are the chances there's going to be consolidation here again? They're pretty high, right? You go up with that.
Yeah, I'll definitely wait for that range. Good game. Broken. Yeah, to the upside or the downside. I still think GJ is bullish.
Alright, GJ 30 minute here. Oh wow, this is a big screen. Green box for non-interest, closing below from high. Secure 50-70. Oh, nice. You have targets and ideas planned out. That's perfect. Below this area would be better. I'm aiming for below 130 to 600 for sells. A lot of waiting.
Yeah. It is the game.
The game is. Would you hold the runner through consolidation range on GJ? Well, if the buys happen, if I let's say take a buy over here, and if it does go up, then I'm gonna be holding a runner. Yeah. So let's draw this right there. Yeah, right there.
Raja.
Hey.
But on your 30 minute, there's a support at 132.75. Okay. So now you've got yours at 132.600, as in like to take sales, right?
Yeah.
Is that 132.75 have any significance to start going there? Because like on the 30 minute, that's quite clean when it goes down, right? So isn't that like a better position?
Yeah, but smaller, you know?
Oh, because
Yeah, it's like small. It's like 15, 16 pips.
okay, got it.
Yeah, so this is a much bigger. Even down till here, this is almost like 25. And if there's volume, you know, like since price is ranging now, so once there's volume in like New York, and then as we get closer to, you know, London close, that volume could push price further down. So better sells are going to be below. Like whenever I'm looking at like a sells or a buys, let's say I'm looking at sells, I'm always looking to, okay, better sells are going to be below this area, and riskier sells are going to be below this area.
Got it. And
So-
you got more range on the that lower sell.
Yeah,
You get a cleaner move, and you got more of a chance of getting in as well.
yeah, exactly. CAD JPY, price couldn't push up, closed back in the range, waiting for support to break. Perfect. Perfect, Charlie. Ooh, UJ. Waiting for break and retest to grab, move down. Yeah, I think you'll have to wait a little bit for news. There's news coming for the USD. Unemployment claims. This is going to be huge. Oh, there goes gold. 1730. Right to the tip, mate. Alright, let's take a look. Waiting for price to break the zone. Yeah, see, so this is an example of having clean traffic to the left. Because now you look, you have this clean traffic here all the way down. So if price breaks below, it's going to have an easier, you know, move heading down. So idea is to avoid ranges and take trades when come outside of range to next range. Yes, that's the whole idea.
Yep.
What's this? Buying above this wick. Perfect. That's what I'm waiting for too. For something to close above this area, to take a trade all the way up to 133, 200. In the 30 pip range, so have to wait. For me, this is the waiting range. Man, this week I took 7 trades, 2 losses. Not too bad. UJ, today's support, downside target, upside target. Yeah, I think you're missing this area over here. Yeah, that's missing. Yo, Mac, I think you need to go to bed, man.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep back. Definitely.
All right, take care.
I'm up.
Later.
See now, GJ is breaking up. Oh, what's this? Special chart. Let's take a look at this. I've been waiting for this. Oh, 4 hours. Yeah, Monty, I was thinking the same narrative here.
What's that? Sorry, man. I'm pretty busy, but yeah, I was basically the whole of London was based on pre-London and that London move. The majority of that was just news, right?
Yeah.
But before that, we kind of created off the old daily support and stuff as well, and we created decent support. In through Asian, it was bullish. You know, it was pretty good. So I think we should pick up momentum. But that news was just that big for our account. It was basically all news and reaction to that. So I mean, I'm not disregarding it completely, but because we created a support and we had a bullish close above the previous, etc., I think we've got potential. Now we're rejecting off that level. So I'll be looking more higher time frame stuff. So I had a target of 33.8 for today, to be honest. But with that news, it kind of put us out of sync. But now it's kind of maybe picking up speed again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. See, now since it's broken up, just gotta wait for the retracements.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, there's a few key areas you need to deal with, but I think it's definitely potential more upside. I think, but it was tough in London because the way the news, that big green candle to the left of where you are, that was like yen news,
this one.
And then that drop was kind of pre-GBP news, and when the GBP news came out, we were like right at the bottom of the range, and it was really bad news, and it went up. So it's like it made no sense. So it's like it's all priced in, you see. So now I think we're just going to continue momentum from prior news. So we'll see.
No, it looks good. Looks good. Just gotta wait for a little bit of retracement second.
Yeah, because it's a dodgy little range now, I think.
Yeah. It is dodgy. See, even if someone tries. Oh. Okay. Because even if someone tries to enter here, your stop is going to be way down over here below this candle. 20 pips.
Okay, Rakeel. So on GJ, you're waiting for support to be formed at 133.
Yeah, like around that area.
Yeah.
Around that area.
I'm looking at gold buys when support's formed again at like 1730 area to 1737 and beyond.
Yeah, that's moving nice.
Yeah, that'd be a good move.
Because if you look on the 15 and 30 minute, it's been wicking from the top. So that shows me that is an area of support.
Resistance.
So, yeah. Well, above support.
Oh,
below rejection, you know.
To be honest, I don't see any trade in GJ right now, man, because GJ made this range from what's that 134 460 and 132 600. So we might just consolidate for the rest of the day, bounce up unless we break the high of the day or the low of the day. Like, I definitely don't see any trade.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Just gotta wait.
Because we even feel the previous wick on the day on the daily, so
Sell stop below this range and security zone. Yep, makes sense. Perfect. I think you have a lot of things going on here. First of all, I don't know what this big blue zone is. You need to get rid of that. And then all these yellow and pink lines, you need to neaten these up too. This EMA, whatever this is, orange line, you need to get rid of that. It's not helping you at all. These volume bars, I'm pretty sure you don't look at these either. So I mean, there's a lot of unnecessary stuff happening in this chart. So the stuff you don't need and the stuff you think you would need, just remove both of them. Keep the stuff you do need, you know, like I have this support. If price breaks this, I'm gonna take a sell and I'm gonna keep this here. You know, if we have a close above this area, then I'm gonna start looking for buys to go up to 133, 250. So I'm gonna keep that there. You know, so all unnecessary things, just get rid of them. Could you look at this chart? I have a question for buy or sell stop. Okay. Man, you know, like a lot of people, they watch that video and now they know how to send charts. So now I'm being bombarded with charts. I gotta take that video down.
Yeah, sometimes it's like better the devil you know, right?
Yeah. Let's say before this move happens, would you ACTL place a buy stop? Because we were anticipating either for a bull or bear. No, not really. I mean, if I had a buy stop, I would have said so. I'd have a buy stop, not over here. I'd want to, like, if I would want a buy stop, my buy stop would be above this area here if I really want it. Above, you know, 133, 450. Because there's clean candles here. Look at this. Clean move from like 133, well, 134 down to 133, 440. That's a 60 pip range. Over here, you have a lot of problems. You know, like if buy stop gets activated above this candle, you run into this area, might see rejection, and I mean, it's just not going to be very easy. Gold 30 minutes. Price consolidating. Oh, nice. Missed this move. I think your entry could have been better down over here. When we were looking at gold, we were looking at this candle closing bullish, was anticipating this to go bullish and eventually go to 1730. So now since you had this trade, look to see how could you have had a better entry. How do you read volumes by looking at candles? I don't. You don't know what volume is going to come into the market until it comes in the market. That's the thing. You know, when you have volume bars, those volume bars tell you how much volume was there in the previous candle, not how much volume there's going to be in the next candle. It's very important. Oh, EJ here is reversed. Looks like it will continue up. See here, I'm not taking any trades, but I'm anticipating things. So what I'm anticipating here is that the 30-minute candle broke the high of the previous one at a support after a big rejection. So it should continue up to, you know, 116, 200, like 20 pips, 15, 20 pips. And if that happens, that's going to go in my notebook of, okay, these certain things do work for the most part. You know, because the more you see certain things happen, the more confident you get on executing on them.
You know, Rakeel, that second entries webinar you did, I've seen it a few times. It's actually I think one of the best ones, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, really, really good, and it just gives you so many options of how to enter, and even if you get taken out, okay, you can go back for round 2 or 3, still with controlled risk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like the more you see it, the better you get at it. You know, but it's also like they're very risky, impulsive entries at the same time. Like let's say right over here, right? As the 30-minute here was breaking the high, you said, okay, you know, enter right now, have a stop below here. It's risky, but you know, there's a probability, but it's not as much as you would wait for let's say a resistance to break, price comes down, create a support, and then you take a buy to go up. That has a higher probability of working out. So when things like these happen, they have a probability, but it's not as high. That's why I say they're kind of like advanced concepts. So man, you're a pretty advanced guy, so you got it.
Nah, man. Just still beginner, bro. Still beginner.
Can someone confirm that my chart code is visible? Yes, it is. I'm gonna take a look at it here. GJ, 30 minutes. Caught London, okay. If price breaks resistance, I will look for support to be formed to buy in. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking for too. 15 minutes about to close here. Oh, it closed. It closed above all the candles here to the left. If this was the 30-minute, I would have taken a small entry if this was the 30-minute. It's 15 minutes, so it's weak confirmation, so I'm not prone to take an entry. Yeah, I'm not looking at that zone, I'm looking at these wicks here, because if that zone was important, this candle would have respected it, and then these candles coming down would have respected that area. Oh, okay.
I was working at the same time, sorry. Yeah, the reason I think that didn't matter on the way up and down was based on the fact that it was more news impulsive than like a normal move, if that makes sense. You know, like a normal momentum move, because it was impulsive news, release of data. I think it disregarded it on the way up. It just kind of smashed right through, and it didn't see anything on the same on the way down because it's such a solid move on the way down. So I don't know if this is why we're getting that wick now from that level, potentially. It's kind of maybe it's taken into consideration now. I'm not sure.
Oh, what I feel like is we're just reacting over here.
Okay, cool. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because you're right.
It's the most recent, but I was looking left of that as well. You see where it kind of rejected to go up, and then also the same to break to come down as well, just left of that one we were looking as well. But I know it's the most recent you're looking at anyway, so it makes sense.
Hey, Raja, if the 15-minute high is broken here after it's just created this down wick, would you be inclined to take a small position?
If this high gets broken?
Yes.
No. Because I'm waiting for the 30 minutes.
Support, man.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the 30 minutes to close. You're going to prepare for gold sell. Why? Why would I do such a thing? Because here's the thing. Weekly is bullish, right? Daily is bullish. 4 hour is bullish. 1 hour is bullish. 30-minute is bullish. 15-minute just formed. So I think a better sell is going to be below 1724. So you guys really need to change your mindset. If price comes to a resistance, it doesn't mean it's automatically a sell. Of course, you could get like a little push down, but how many times has price gone to resistance? Or how many times have price came to support, you took a buy, and price just crashed to support? You know, so sometimes, most times, the odds are not in your favor. I mean, accidentally, you might get that one sell, and then you're going to think, oh, it's going to happen all the time, but it's not. How do you measure probability? Well, you take 60, 70, 80 trades, and that's how you measure probability. You know, so if we take these live streams, for example, I've been streaming live on YouTube, let's say from August 2019. You know, so from August 2019 till today, there are a lot of trades that we've taken on the live streams. So if you count all those trades, if you add them up, you divide winners by losing trades, the winning probability is going to come up to, like, I'd say minimum 70%. So that's the winning probability right there. So now I know if I take a trade on the live streams, most of the time there will be winning trades. You know, like waiting for candles to close above support, below resistance, whatever the case may be.
What you're saying there, Ricky, is true as well, you know, because when I first started trading, and when a lot of people start trading, one of the problems they have is like they sell a bottom and they buy a top when price is going to reverse. And then when they get out of that habit, they start saying, okay, now it's sell the top and buy the bottom. But sometimes what you got to realize is with these pairs, they can do real deep pullbacks. or just continue going through without turning around, and then that just takes your soul.
Yeah, exactly. I've been looking at US 30 this week. Oh, we're ranging here on US 30. Well, now if someone wants to ask why they're ranging, because we have some really important US data coming out. Really, really important US data. Wow, look at that pullback on GJ. 15-minute are weak confirmations. No trade.
It looks like a fake out.
Yeah, let's just see if we break below 130 to 600. That'll be a great position for sells. If this 30-minute breaks and closes above these candles to the left, like let's say above 132.960, then I'd be prone to take a buy. So just wait. Please, could you kindly have a look? Thanks. Okay. Let's have a look here. Oh. Oh shit, okay. A lot of things going on here. So this is price made a support level, keeping an eye on this level. Break up this even. Yeah, I think this would be a better area to sell on the 30-minute chart. 15-minute, the weak confirmations, you know, not enough ranges. You gotta be careful of that. Made a high, you're trying to take buys above this area. That also makes sense. Yeah, I think taking a buy here would be very risky because price is still ranging. Very nice. See, this is an example of a nicely labeled chart. So I'm going to keep this here as an example because I know some really bad charts are coming our way. When waiting for price to break out of the range, okay, I have seen you enter after 30-minute close after support resistance is broken, but sometimes after the range break, you wait for price to test the range. Yeah, it depends what's happening, you know, like it's very situational. It really depends on what's happening. I mean, if this breaks out, I mean, it's just very situational. I mean, let's say if this support gets broken and you have New York open, then I'd be more willing to take a sell as it's getting broken. But if there's less volume, let's say if price has already broken it and then it's making a low, then I can't enter a sell because then I'll wait for price to come up to create like a minor resistance and then I'll take a sell. You know, so it also depends like when you really catch price in the session. Like let's say if I came on the charts and you know price was up over here, then I would say okay, yeah, I'm gonna wait for price to come down to create a support and then take a buy. What's this? Oh, wrong chart. Yeah, Sapello sent a wrong chart. What do you think about your USD? I think it's a very nice pair, which I don't trade, but if you can send a chart, that's going to be awesome. Oh, what's this? Gold. Would you take buys if 4-hour closes above resistance? No. But it seems like it's going to go over there. Like you have US data, really important US news coming on. So
yeah, you got to be really careful with gold. There's a couple of areas of interest, 1634 and then 1636, and then eventually 1642. Or sorry, 1736, 17. Sorry, let me say that again. 1734, 1736, and 1742. Your optimal buys for gold would have been through the Asian and London session. I think right now we're running. It's going to be hard because we broke up and now we're pulling right back into the range again. I took a buy earlier at like 6:15, and now I'm get stopped out.
Oh, nice. When that candle was pushing.
Yep. Because support was created on the 30-minute there. But I also had a buy that I got stopped out on from last night, so this is just a secondary position.
Was that during London?
During Asian.
Oh yeah, I saw that. This moved down.
Yeah, that's exactly the move I caught. I watched that all through Asian and basically said, if this doesn't break, we're going up. And then I caught entry at 1713.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
I was watching gold as well.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that I talk about a lot. Is we had a really strong push yesterday, bullish. Usually Thursday would then come around and continue the move. So I waited to see that happen again, and it did. So my stop loss was a little bit deeper. It was at 17. I think it was 1707 at that point. I let my stop loss drop, so I entered in at 1713. My stop loss was at 1708.
Yeah, I think it has room to go higher over here. But at the same time, I'm not sure whether this was news being priced in, this move up. It's a problem. Something like this could happen. Boom. Down. What's this? GU. If price break below the zone, is it a good sell? Yes, because you have a clean range coming down. So that would be a very nice sell. See, GJ, the power of waiting. 15-minute closed above, didn't rush in a trade, decided to wait, and perfect. Just waiting. Notice that previously you used to take more buy sell support. No, it's just about the I think the understanding of price action and candles just got much better. So it's still, trades are still based on zones. I mean, your support zone trade is still based on this support zone. If price comes down over here, and if I see a support forming here, let's say a candle closes bullish, and then if I have a decent stop loss, I'll take that buy. But if price closes below the support, then I'm not going to take that buy. I'm going to take a sell because it will just make sense for it to continue down. Oh, nice. So we had this sell. Beautiful. I hate when a candle takes off before I get in. Yep. That's true.
Hey Raja, how's it going?
Hey Daniel, how are you?
Good, yourself?
Good.
It's good. Oh, what I think with GJ is what we're currently doing is we've made the low and now we're coming back up, creating resistance to now retest that low. What do you think?
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, it makes sense.
Like as soon as we break that mini support there on 132. I know it's only 20 pips, but we could eventually push through that to then, have a nice runner to possibly 132, 150 where you've got your support.
Oh, right down there.
Oh, as for a runner,
Yeah, I considered this little range, but to me it's just too small. I'd rather wait for this to break 132, 600.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good eye. We did make a low, came up, and then this, instead of heading up, came down, created resistance. So it just makes sense for it to come down over here. So if you enter over here, possibly looking at 16 pips, and then I could have a stop over there. Just wait for the support to break.
Yeah. Anyway, how's things going, mate? You good?
Good. Yeah, things are great. What's this? Wait for pullback, anticipate to push down. Oh, if 30-minute holds bullish, anticipate buy over here. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. So break of this support, you're looking for more sells, and if you see a support forming here, you could see some buying opportunity. Let's take a look at this chart. GA, wait for support and close below. I think you can look at this on a small time frames as well. 30-minute, 1 hour to see what's going on. What do you think about this chart? Take a look here. All right, what's this? Consolidation 1, consolidation 2, breaking support, looking for a retest to continue down. Yeah, I think that makes sense below this area here. But then again, where did these big fat zones come from? Are these consolidations? Oh, okay, I see. So you look for buys above this area and sells below this area. At the same time, that will also be once this price goes up and breaks above the, I think it's the 200 EMA, and then continue going up. When you get a chance, can you give me some ideas, please? Oh, take a look at this. Oh, DJ is continuing down over here. Gotta wait for it to break below 132,600. A new low has been formed, waited for pullback, entered on the close of the 30 minutes with TP at the new form low but got stopped out. Yeah, I don't know. This chart is missing some very important aspect. This chart is missing exactly which candle you entered. You see here, it's not pointing to anything. So I'm sorry, can't help you. Have to be very specific. I mean, when you're pointing at candles, you need to be very, very precise on which candle are you looking at, what time are you looking at. Are you trying to trade US 30 on unemployment? No. I'm just looking at US 30. I'll look at US 30 till the end of May to kind of see if I can find a trade on USD30 every day. So for the next 2-3 weeks, I'm just going to be like looking at it. Oh, what's this? Bullish candle close, take a buy, sell target. Very nice. Oh, someone's got shells on GJ. Very nice. How much?
I entered on the break of the last 15-minute low. I have like Roger, do you think there's any way that I could have made this trade better? Because I entered on the low of the last 15-minute, but my stop is like 20 pips up since that's the high of the candle.
Yeah, that's good. So now you can maybe bring your stop loss down.
Yeah, that's the idea. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, now you can bring the stop loss. Like people think like having stops, like let's say if you have a stop at 1-to-1, you know, like let's say for example your stop is at 20 pips and your TP is at 20 pips. But when price goes into 10, 12, 15 pips, then you can bring your stop loss down. You know, you can tighten it up. You should never leave your stop at where you're going to keep it. You should always be trailing it down, because when price goes against you, you don't want to eat that entire stop loss. You want to eat a portion of that stop loss. You know, so that's something very important, because as price starts to go against you, you get into this very like a frantic phase where you're like, oh man, I'm gonna draw down. Price is now going against me. Should I close? Should I hold? What should I do? It's gonna hit my stop loss 100%, but I'm just like frozen in time. Like you can't react. So the best way to do when it's going in negative, you have to stop the bleeding. You know, it means you have to maybe, well, you don't have to, but what I do is I just take off a percentage of the position. Like yesterday, I took, I think I took a buy. Yeah, I took a buy on GJ. That was in Asian session somewhere over here. Yeah, I don't know where I took it. Look, yeah, it was somewhere over here. So I took a buy, and price started to come down. As it started to come down, I knew that, okay, you know what? This is a bad trade, so I might want to close 50%. So I had a free lot open. If stop would have hit my stop loss price, I would have lost $300, you know. So when price came into near my entry and tried to go past it, I closed 50%. You know, so I closed 50%, and then when it actually hit my stop, at the end I lost around $186 instead of losing $300. You know, so if you think price will still go in your way, but you're in a drawdown, it's okay to close, you know, half, because what if now hits your stop loss?
Yeah, that's good. Thanks, Roger.
Yeah, no problem. For some reason, I really did not like my position, so I closed fully. Oh, broke in next zone and a closed fishy in it, took out one position, entered when candle started breaking low. So you entered over here. You entered a sell. Yeah, I think you entered at the bottom. This is the mistake I see people make over and over and over again. When price is dropping, you're waiting for price to create a resistance, and then you take a sell. If price is dropping, you don't take a sell because you're taking a sell at the bottom, and that's a bad idea. So yeah, I just gotta wait, man. Raja.
Hey, where's that? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go, mate. You go.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say with Nathan, if you can hear me, a good stop loss could have probably been above the current 15-minute wick candle. because as it breaks the low, you're anticipating that it won't retest, even though it didn't make a higher wick, it could, that could reduce your stop loss heaps.
But we would never know, because what if price came up just a little bit? The spread would take you out.
Oh, well, you do it like a couple of pips above, just so margin of error. But you know how you say that once it breaks the low of the previous candle, that you can put a stop loss above the wick.
But that's still pretty risky at this stage, Like at a beginner stage, that's extremely risky. So you need like 40, 50 good trades running in your favor before you start working on that concept. Because, man, I just recently started working on that concept, just like 4 months ago. And once I knew, like it's working for me, then I started to present it to everybody that, hey guys, look what I found.
Yeah. It's just because that stop loss that he had was probably up there or something. That's like 20 pips. And then the range you've got is like, I reckon that's probably, was it 18? So it's actually a negative risk to reward. So it's just to maintain that positive RR, even if it's like, I don't know.
See, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, even though if you have a stop of 20 pips right over here, right? Let's say right over here, and your TP is less than 20 pips, it's okay to have a negative risk reward because you're managing the trade. Like a lot of times, my stop loss is 14 pips and I secure at 10 pips, and then I leave a runner running, and then I bring my stop down here. So let's say if my so let's say it was something like this. Someone entered a sell over here, the TP was right down over here, stop loss was way up over here, right? So this is like a negative risk reward. So when price goes in profits, let's say 8-9 pips, and if you bring your stop to break even, now you have a very positive risk reward.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying having a like a negative risk reward is bad, but the risk reward is variable. Like it's variable based on where you put your stop loss, where you move your take profit, and when trade goes your way, and if you move your stop loss, now you have a better risk reward.
Yep.
So like I never shy away from having a negative, but of course, like if let's say price, so let's say you had a sell right over here, and you had a negative risk reward right down over here, and if price started to go against you, that's when you start to look at the 15-minute. You're like, okay, well, we're closing bullish. I might want to close my position early. But you're giving it that benefit of a doubt that, okay, if it does come up here, then I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
So so like if you sometimes, if you do have a negative risk reward, it doesn't mean that you will exit the position when it hits your stop loss.
It would have been better if this current 15 had a wick to the top.
Or if you had a bigger range.
Yeah. But usually, right, when it does that, when price wicks, see that wick broke the high of the previous one, when it does that and then closes bearish, that's a strong resistance. So it's like it's grabbed a lot of orders. Now it should, or highly likely that it's going to go down because of how it broke the high of the previous 15-minute or even 30-minute and it closed bearish. What do you reckon?
That's true.
Yeah. See, it even happened there as well. During Asian.
Yeah.
How it broke the high and then closed bearish and then kept going.
Oh, very nice. Buy is about 1734. Yeah, looks like we're still continuing bullish here. See, this is why gold is not a sell if it reaches resistance. You need some candles forming bearish to tell it's a sell. For educational purposes, UJ was in ranges as well, but last hourly candle 6 a.m. closed breaking the range. I don't know, you have to send a chart with your text. Raja, why your target for buys is not the top of the candle? Well, we'll see once price starts to go there. But I don't have buys. I don't even have a target for buys. I have target for sells. I'm going to target 132, 150 as a super target for sells. For safe inter-session target, it's going to be around 132, 400. Let's take a look at this here. Ooh. Entered on this 30-minute close, failed to wait for this range to retest, failed to use the right stop loss. Close position. Boom. Oh, nice. So you won the trade. Yeah, I guess if you used the stop above the high, it would have gone stopped out, but it worked. I think this was just this candle which popped out, it still closed below resistance. I kept you safe. I would like to know what you guys do for therapy each day trading. Honestly, the hardest part for me is dealing with ups and downs. Yeah, I mean, if you have if you take a loss, just come back the next day. I mean, I have videos on how to take losses as well on YouTube. So I don't know, but like you just not have to think about it. When people, you know, now most people are in quarantine or social distances, whatever. You know, you're staying home from work, you're working from home. You're more prone to look at the charts. You know, so when you're more prone to look at the charts, you're more prone to make decisions, and those decisions end up in trades in the chart. So you just gotta not, because here's the thing: when you miss a move and you keep on looking at the charts when you're not supposed to, man, it's just. Then you're gonna start thinking, oh, what if I could have done this, could have done that, start feeling bad, you know, start getting FOMO. That's bad. That's super bad. Now I hate looking at charts after 9:30. Like after I say I'm done, after this thing is over, I just don't like looking at the charts at all. Just like no one wants to go to work, I don't want to open the charts and get to work. So that's the kind of mindset you gotta have. You think New York volume will push GJ past that support? Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's gonna do that. Just gotta see how am I gonna enter this, because if can't enter now because it hasn't broken support. So I want to see a candle. I think Ted drew a candle here before.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, kind of like this. I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
So stop will be up over here, and then next one should go boom.
That's the trade I'm looking for.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it logically, this area here is probably going to be a zone. So you can see the reason why I draw that this area is going to be a zone is things that come to my mind is this and this right here. So with probability, what I have a feeling that will happen is the next hour, if we are indeed to go down, you'll probably tap back into that, and then this candle will begin the push, but this will probably be the area of contention. So you might find that we might come up a little bit back into this area here. Just that's the way GJ usually moves, and then from that point on it'll drop, and then you know, you're looking at clean traffic right to this level over here essentially, and then the next level would be right over here. So you have all this empty space right here to fill over the next, I would say maybe 2 to 3 30-minute candles at that point. But I really think as we're trading, we're going to probably have to watch that zone. Once again, the zone that I'm drawing, and the reason why I'm drawing that zone is because we already see that there were rejections in that area. So when you look at what's happening right now, we are playing within that, in that previous zone. And people say, well, how did you know? It's not how did I know, it's just logically, you know, if price is doing this right now, so what do we have to look for? We have to look at areas where there was previous information and figure out what's going on there. So it just means that we're coming into a previous level, and you know, we're bouncing around there. So we're waiting for this range to break either to the downside here or to the upside over here, and that's fine. And the thing is, people have to understand that that's trading. We don't know the direction until the markets give us the direction. What we do is we prepare ourselves for the direction, and this is where, you know, Rakeel can take a simple trade and not worry about, you know, if his trade hits stops, or, you know, he doesn't have to worry about getting excited about winning or losing the trade, because it's already been mapped out based on the information before the trade takes place. And I think from the psychological questions, the psychology questions people are asking in the chat, that's the biggest thing that people lack, is they're not properly planning all the variables before they execute. Like right now, Rakeel's been waiting for the last hour to execute on this trade. He's gone through multiple ideas in his head on how this trade will play out. So that's eased his mind in terms of, well, what happens if it hits this area? Do I close early? What happens over here? You know, where do I move my stop to? Things of that nature. A lot of people just come onto the charts and right away try and click trades, and then they miss small little details, and then they wonder why they can't hold trades, or, you know, things are happening in that respect. So really take your time and plan out the trade. Even, you know, if you miss a trade over a couple of days because you've planned so much and you watch the trade go by, that's okay. But at least you're mentally focusing, and as you get better with planning, you will become faster at it, and it'll become easier for you, and then you can start executing more, and you'll have more confidence. It's like driving, you know, it's driving manual transmission car. You know, you have a clutch, you have a gas pedal, you have a gear shift. Those all have to work together. At the beginning, it's tough because you're mentally thinking about depressing the clutch, moving the gear stick, then pushing the gas, things of that nature. But once you've done it enough, it becomes second nature, and then you can start, you know, adjusting that. You know, you do heel and toe. You know you can shift the car from second instead of going all the way down to first. Things of that nature, right? So it's all experience and practice at that point.
Ted, I've got a question on the zone that you just drew. I'm going to try see how we get on with this annotation thing. I've never done this before. You drew a zone. That's really not gone well. Here we go again. Here we go. So you drew this zone, which and sort of mirrors over here as well. And this I get because they're just rejection wicks. But this I don't get because you've got this candle here. No, I don't know how this works. You've got this candle, this bullish candle that closes outside of it, then another bearish candle that closes in it, and then a bullish one outside of it. That, to me, doesn't make sense as a zone.
So what you're doing is we're anticipating we're anticipating where price can reject based on that, right? Okay. So we have this as an example as a zone. We can see what's happened. Price is rejected out of there. And then you can start to see that this area here is a bit of a zone because price rejected out of there. Now you can draw zones here, you can draw zones here, you can draw a zone here, you can draw a zone here. Like you can go on and on forever about where there's a zone. The idea is what you're trying to do is say, okay, if I'm expecting price to move down to this level over here, what do I expect to happen in this area here, right? So once again, we're anticipating the move. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say, okay, I want price to go down here. So this is our end result. I know that price is going to have to do something in this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for things in that area to give me a hint at that point. I'm not going to worry too much about what's going on up over here because I believe that's already passed. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to say, okay, if I was to draw the next series of candles, how would that series of candles look? Based on historical information, we can always see that there's a wick to the upside and then we have a push to the downside. So if I'm anticipating where this wick is going to come from, I need to go to the left and look in this relative area to say, okay, what do the wicks look like? You know, you can maybe say even over here, it's a little bit higher, this is a little bit higher, but then we're creeping back into this area. So we anticipate that we're making steps down. So this is sort of how trading works, right? So you have a step down, you have a next step down. Same thing if you're going on an upswing, you have steps up, right? And these steps over here are usually like consolidation, right? Like people have those magical IG charts where they have consolidation and breakouts, right? So here we have the same idea that's happening here, but just the opposite. So what I'm trying to visualize, and as I'm trying to visualize, where am I going to get a wick from, and where are those wicks going to appear? And that's how I plan out my trade, or that's why I'm looking at what I'm looking. This candle to me, it doesn't give me the information I'm looking for with this, so that's okay. I'm okay with seeing this candle because that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this candle here. If this candle here doesn't present itself, then my idea becomes invalid, and that's okay. So I'm not worried about what's going on over here right now. I'm worried, and I'm waiting to see if I can get a candle that looks like this for me to take a sell at that point to drop down. That's sort of the visualization, and that's the anticipation that I'm looking for. I'm not worried about what's happening right now because I can visually see what's happening right now, and I'm not in a trade. What I'm trying to do is I'm anticipating 1 to 2 plays down the road and what I'm looking to see at that point. And if I don't get it, then it's okay. I can leave this idea and I can throw it out. But when you visualize, then you're now able to practice and you're able to prepare to see what will possibly happen, right? So that's the reason why I pick out these, because I've seen this happen enough times where it's like, okay, more than likely we're going to probably tap up here, we're going to go down here, and then we're going to continue to that area over there, which is fine. But I need to see specific ideas play out for me, for that to happen for me at that point, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for the explanation. It makes a lot of sense. So apologies for my piss poor annotations on.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's just what a lot of traders are weak in, or they don't practice enough, is not worrying about what's going on right here, but being able to visualize the future and saying, okay, if we're going down, what does the future look like going down? If we're going up, what does the future look like? Because when we go up, there's not really just one candle. It's very rare that one candle does this. Likewise, when we go down, there's not one candle that does this. So we know that. So right away, you can cancel these sort of variables. This happens maybe, I would say 0.5 out of 10 times, right? You get a news release and the candle drops 80 pips and you're like, wow, that was amazing. But that's not normal occurrence. What's normal occurrence with GJ on the 30-minute? This is normal occurrence. This is normal occurrence. So when you start to normalize what is actually happening, that's where you start to figure out, okay, why are certain things happening, and how do we anticipate the next moves based on previous information? And it's not anticipating exactly, it's giving myself hints, right? Like I can see here, this is a zone. So more than likely, we're going to tap around this area. I can look. I can see that. I can see maybe it might tap to this area. It doesn't mean it's 100%, but I know that more than likely, it's gonna repeat itself in some instances. You can see here as an example, this candle here, it doesn't make any sense. So maybe I have to look at my hour time frame or even my 4-hour time frame and say, what's happening, or where are we in the session, and why is it doing what it's doing at that point? So it's just little things. And sometimes there is no answer, and that's okay as well. And people have to get used to that too. People get upset because I say I don't know, and you know they expect myself, or you know even Raja, they expect us to know every answer. Sometimes the market just moves because that's the way it moves, and that's being fluid, and that's just accepting the outcome and not being upset because you couldn't figure it out. You're not supposed to be able to figure out every outcome. Just be happy that you're somewhat profitable, or you're somewhat making proper decisions. That's the bigger thing.
Yeah, I think the point is there when people ask what's going to happen, exactly as you say, history repeats itself. When people look over previous candles, what people forget is that sometimes we are experiencing the candles, creating history for what's going to repeat itself in the future, and then we'll look back in say a week's time and go, well, this happened then, and
that's right.
So
that's exactly it, and that's your job as a retail trader, is to be a detective, and to say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I like, what exactly is happening, and not to worry that you missed something, but it's just, okay, how can I look at that next time? Do I have to wake up earlier? Do I have to prepare in the Asian session for this setup? Things of that nature, and that just comes with that experience and time.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Well, it looks like there was no trade here for GJ for me today. Let's see what happens. What are your thoughts on this setup? Let's take a look here. Potential sell if level is broken, Euro USD 30. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you have US data coming in too, so we're not really sure how that US data is going to move the USD pairs. So have to be very careful about that. It's very important data. Unemployment numbers. How do we handle this area right here? See, now my thing about these areas in the past is that this happened, so if this area was important, then you had price here. You see how price created support? It reacted to this area down over here, and this consolidation area had a support, it had a resistance, which now turned into support right here, which then turned into another support right here, which is getting reacted upon right now. So you would want to see a break over there. So once price starts moving down, I wouldn't worry about what happened here. I'd mostly be worried about this support right over here. That if price comes down, and if I look left and see that, okay, whether I can take profits at this area or not, or if price comes down here, and if I'm taking profits here, then I can say, okay, you know what, maybe now I'm going to put my stops at break even, because price could eventually start to come down to 132, 100. So what you're basically going to be looking at is this area. Oh, this is too zoomed out. Let me just remove all this. Because when candles are moving down, candles are always looking left. They look left for clues. They look left. They see there was a clean candle. They look left again. They look left again. They're coming down, coming down. Once they come down to this area, they see this. They're like, oh, okay. Well, candles rejected this area before, right over here. And now you're like, okay, well, what's the probability that price is going to reject this area again once price starts to come down to this area? This is where you start managing your trades, where you start, like securing profits, start thinking about putting stops at break even. And even though if you catch this move, this is a very big range. I mean, not that big, but it's still like around 20, 22 pips a day. So that's how I'm going to look at that area. And once we break below here, then obviously, we're going to continue down to 132, 150. But it's that initial break that we're looking for. Oh wow, looks like it's gonna drop over here. I think logically it would make sense with the bad data. US 30 should drop. I'm learning more and more about US 30 and the Dow now. Oh, this is also negative. See a Dow, this is what the pre-market saw. This is US 30. Negative here. Let's see what the data does. Could be interesting to look at. 4-hour candle also closes in an hour. So if that closes, oh look at this 15 minute. What's special about US 30? Oh, nothing. It's just something I'm looking at. I'm gonna start to look at it for the next month to see if I can start incorporating that in trading. I think US 30 is your Dow. Yeah, that's what it is. US 30 is Dow. I'm not completely sure what it consists of. Still learning.
It's the top capitalized companies on the stock market. So essentially, how those companies move is a benchmark for the rest of the stock market. So your top 30 capitalized companies by asset value, those are the ones that it's basically market cap. So it's a quick snapshot of the overall market. So if those companies are doing good, chances are the rest of the market's doing good. If those companies are doing bad, then chances are those companies are, then the market's doing bad.
It's like a snapshot of the top companies here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, 1.4 trillion.
Yeah. So when they move, basically they move the market. Yeah, that's the other thing too. There's comments about trading indices. You should really be trading them on a regular futures or futures market. Like trading them as a CFD is very scary. What's your opinion on COT reports? Well, my opinion on COT reports is similar to my opinion on every other thing that people think is the holy grail. If those items were the best and be all end all of trading, then your grandmother would be trading. So keep that in mind. Anytime someone tells you that this is the only way to trade, or this is the best way to do it because this is what everybody uses, I would be very skeptical and very cautious of that. That's all. Because there's no such thing as that. A lot of people try and turn around and say that COT reports give you the bias for the market, and it's like, if that was the case, then we wouldn't have charts open. We would just have the COT report, and we would just show up at like 10:45 a.m. Eastern when the COT report showed up. I don't know when they show up, but whenever they were released, and just trade off that release. So it's just something you have to really think about, and in terms of when you look at information and the validity of the information. Am I still looking at gold? Nope, I'm not looking at gold. I got stopped out a while back. And for the last time, we also have to understand is the FX market is decentralized. So a lot of people also try and bring ideas from the equities market into FX, right? Volume indicators, these reports, things of that nature. This is a decentralized, deregulated industry. So those kind of compliance items don't exist in the industry. They exist in subsections of the industry, but not as as the industry as a whole. So it's very hard to leverage items that work in a subsection of an industry because there's a lot of or the rest of the industry doesn't use that information, right? You're looking at COT reports which are US based. Well, what about Europe? What about Asia? What about Australia? What about South America? Like, there's so much more there that you're missing. So it's hard to correlate. When you look at equities, the equity market is regulated. So if I want to trade a US equity, I have to trade it on the New York Stock Exchange because that's where the share is being actively traded. Based on that information, I can see the total volume of shares that are available for this company and what's being traded at that time. That's an indication of volume because all the shares that you're trading are all located at the same place. With FX, we're trading currency. Currency is located in multiple pools of liquidity, multiple exchanges, multiple markets. So it's very difficult to apply those same concepts. So just keep that in mind. Ted, if banks don't actually trade FX, why do you look at the session that those banks are open? Because it's not that they don't actively trade FX, they're using it as tools to hedge. That's the difference. So most times when banks are open, that's when a lot of currency is going to be moving to hedge instruments. People are going to need FX to do exchanges. That is part of the FX market. So when we look at FX, the currency market opening at 8 a.m., that's getting ready for North American businesses to start doing their work, right? So if I have a US boating company and I'm shipping boats to Europe, I'm going to have to probably pay in euros. So I'm going to have to exchange my euros, which creates a demand for euros, which moves the price of euro USD in that nature. That's one of the elements that would make price move. So that's the reason why we have various pushes during that time. Same thing at the New York stock market open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. You're going to have a push because people are going to start purchasing equities or they're going to start selling equities. So they're going to have to do exchanges with those currencies. On top of that, you have banks and institutions that are now hedging their other financial instruments with the currencies that they're working on. So if their exposure is very high in Europe, they're going to have to hedge that with, the European currency as an example. So it's something to keep in mind as a trader, that's how FX actually works.
I was looking at GJ, and it might be a little bit overzealous idea here. 4 hours bearish. 4 hour didn't really break the high of the previous 4 hours, which is huge, so let's just not even consider that. But if this is bearish, it's coming down. Would it fill this? Yeah, I think we'll need to break support to fill that. That was a impatient trading idea. So we stick to the patient ones. Wait. What do you think about Ripple and how if it can change the banking sector? I don't think cryptocurrency is going to change the banking sector yet. So I think we're far away from that idea. Because then you'll have to make sure everybody starts using cryptocurrencies, and that's not going to happen. It's the idea to have a sell stop below the zone. considering bad US numbers. On GJ, yes, because that's not going to affect GJ a lot. I mean, it's really hard to say. I mean, you have the numbers coming out in 15 minutes. I think gold, a buy stop, maybe better, but I'm not sure how that's going to affect it because last time it moved the opposite way. I think GJ just ranged there for New York session. Do you think USD can chronically get stronger in a few years? I think the US market is the most bullish market ever. I mean, it's been bullish since it started. It's never going down. You know, even though you have like little slumps and dumps here and there, but overall it's just bullish.
USA, USA.
Then there's Chinese over there. They're like China #1. What's this chart here? Chart. Take a look at this chart. Ooh, GJ, 4-hour arrow going up from the support. Yes. What about if the arrow goes down? But it's a good thing that you have these zones made. So now this is your clean range you're trying to get, which is good. Just kind of waiting here. Waited the whole morning for GJ. Nothing's happening here. Yeah, I mean, I think this may end up being a non-trading session here for me.
Aww.
Yeah.
What can you do? How can you know it?
I agree. We can force a trade right now.
Thoughts on gold? Let's take a look here. Oh, some has buy up to 1736. Makes sense. London high, New York high. And then all the way up to 1750. Yeah, I think 1750 makes sense on the daily and weekly. I mean, on the weekly, that's like the weekly wick fill. Let's see what happens in 15 minutes. Everything is just standstill. Is that 2 no trade New York sessions? Yes. 2 New York sessions, no trading. GJ is going to drop for the rest of the week. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, looking at the higher time frame, it does seem like it because we were talking about this. Maybe this weekly move down. Yesterday we had a move up to continue the rally down. So looking at it from a daily perspective, the only problem with the daily I had when I sent my analysis yesterday was the previous daily candle closed bullish. You know, so it closed bullish, anticipating the next one to go bullish and fill this wick, but it filled it. But now in New York, we're coming back down bearish. So we're kind of on the sidelines here because the target down over here at like 132, 100, this is the bottom of the previous daily candle. You know, so if we do break 132, 600 and come all the way down to 132, 100, then the previous daily candle, it becomes the booby trap candle. You know, which means that the Friday daily candle now has a further room to drop below. You know, maybe, I don't know, down to there, 131. But right now, this is where we are, right here. And this is what we talk about. Excuse me for asking again, but Raja, other than news, eco data, and gold, what else moves pairs? Different market dynamics, like, you know, like I mean, technical levels, different technical levels, like price reacts to technical levels. Like this whole chart, this is a world. This is a mini world. You know, you have this support, really strong support. You can see the distance between when price came in, so it's a strong support. So when price comes here, it bounces from it. You know, if it breaks it, you look for candles. Candles start to go down, you start to take subs. Of course, your fundamental news and all that data, that does affect price. but I don't think it affects price in your 15-minute or 30-minute time frames or 1 hour time frame. It overall affects price on like a higher time frame, like your 4 hour, maybe your daily, weekly. That's how I see things. So for this, you're just looking at it, basic technical levels and candles. Is your trading time coming to an end? Probably not. Still have. I'll see what happens. If it starts to break, I'll take a sell. If not, then we'll call it a day. Alright, what's this? UJ. Hey, Raja. Only for education purposes, UJ was in the range as well, but last hourly candle 6 a.m. closed, breaking the range and having 30-minute 4-hour favorable trend. Would that be enough for you to sell? No, I think I'd maybe drop down to the 15-minute in this area here to see how could I have taken a sell. Breaking this support and coming down to the next one. It's kind of like what's slowly formulating on GJ here. So once we break this, we come down to a minor support and then all the way down to 132, 100. Man, if someone was feeling adventurous, I think, yeah, but this would be an early entry here, having a 13, 14 pip stop, and then a 20 pip move down to 132, 400. Because then you're anticipating, so you had all this range, right? Daniel, I don't know who that was, I think it was Daniel, that he said there was a low was being made and now this low is going to get retested. So if volume does come in the next, let's say 8 minutes, 10 minutes with the data and then continues till, before NYC open and candles remain bearish, you could see a break of this 132, 600 continue down. Just kind of waiting right now. Do you enter the trade when the bar closes on a break or do you wait for the next bar to confirm? Usually when it closes at the break, because when a candle is closing at a break, like let's say you have a candle, let's say this candle closes like this, on the 30-minute chart, then I'd be more prone to take sells. And then I guess I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart, and if I go to the 15-minute chart, you'll see that the 15-minute would be maybe something like this and then like this, and then you could say, okay, now I think I have a resistance formed for a continued move down. So when a high time frame candle closes, you're looking at the small time frame to see if it's doing some sort of a retracement or it's creating some sort of minor resistance or not. Because essentially, if you're looking for sells, you're looking to sell a high, right? Or you're looking to sell a resistance formed in the time frame. So far, I've taken no trades. Is my entry correct? Well, I can't see your chart, so I have no idea. All right, we're coming down over here. Coming down, closing in on 132,600. I honestly think, I don't know, if this gets broken, daily is going to go further bearish. This is the tilting point for GJ, 132,600.
Hey Raja.
Hey.
On the daily, it shows that it closed below the previous support that was held, I don't know, about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, would you say that that's now a new low, and now it's going to retest?
Like to go down?
Yeah, to go down on the daily time frame, the higher time frames.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Basically, yes. Ooh, I had a sell stop at 132,600, got activated by the spread. Uh-oh.
Get ready, cowboy.
Is that because of the US news, maybe? The spread jumped.
Yeah, it got activated.
Good luck.
Didn't want to get activated, but I still think it's bearish.
Yeah. If it doesn't go now, it'll go later.
There's my stop right there. It's my TP right down over here. Yeah.
Very nice.
It is what it is. I think it's when you want to take a sell that's either his entry or stop loss. Yes. Yes, exactly. So this is my entry, this is my stop up over here, and this is my take profit down here. Oh, news coming in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. How come you're placing a sell if market hasn't broken that area? Man, are people deaf at the same time? I just said I had a sell stop, it got activated by the spread. I just don't understand sometimes, man. People can't see, they can't hear. It just boggles my mind sometimes.
The thing is that you have.
Yeah, you know. Sorry, Kevin.
That's okay.
That's okay, Sean.
I was gonna say, Rakeel, I had Ted and Monty and yourself. You guys have been shouting me out on your streams, right? And so I had this guy who joined the Telegram last night, the commodity chat, and I put a poll inside the group, which was asking where people are from, what country. Because I wanted to know where people were coming from, what country, right? This guy came in the chat, right, Rakeel, and he said, "Wow, bro, you forgot about your roots. Why did you not put Africa in the poll?" I was like, I'm not even African. Like, what is this? I blocked him so quickly. People are crazy.
Oh, we got news coming in right now.
Is it because I'm black?
The problem is with
Nothing happened.
GG,
Yeah,
that level 132 600. It's it's like hot water for TV.
I was thinking that too, Cohen.
It's
Good.
been there 3 times in the last 2 days.
Oh, the numbers were bad.
Well, that would be good for your trade.
Yeah,
It's good.
that should be good for your trade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the stuff for sure. Nice little retest of the support or resistance now. GG, I'm talking about.
Yeah. How are you doing, Kerwin?
Really good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
Great.
So this is still ranging.
Got a lot of ignorant people out there, man. It's crazy. Your roots, where's your roots, bro?
All right, here it goes.
Oh, look at gold. It's doing something.
Oh wow, it's dropping now.
Shit. Even with bad numbers, man.
See, the news was bad, so you'd expect gold to go up.
Yeah.
But sometimes things.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
GJ sell ? Are you in GJ sell ? If the candle in 30-minute closes without wick at the top and you have small profit, would you close your position? Well, if you're getting scared that if you're in a sell and it's not going to go down, then you should just close the trade. But if you trust the analysis like me, I'm in the trade and I'm anticipating it to continue down, so I'm going to leave the trade open. If I see a 15-minute candle closing bullish or coming back into this range around, let's say, 132.700, then I'm gonna maybe look to close 50% of my position, because at that point I would not want price to hit my stop loss, and lose all of it. So the question you asked, it all boils down to how good your trade management skills are. If you're really waiting to get rewarded, or are you getting scared and exiting? So I wait to get rewarded, but if it starts to go against me, then I manage my trade. I try to see how can I, reduce my loss, because that's the whole concept, right? Like, you're trading to make money, and if you go in a loss, you are learning to reduce that loss. So for me, it would make no sense for price to come up and hit me at like a 15 pip stop. I'd want to close 50% around at this point. And if it hits my stop, then, that's it. I reduced my loss for the day.
Hey, Roger, you can turn up your mic just a little bit?
Turn up my mic?
Yeah, just turn up a little bit, yeah. I can hear you, but it's kind of like I have to like share my music hear you.
Oh. Yeah. Is it nicer now? Is it?
Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, nice.
So if you go back, Raja, go back to the 30-minute chart on GJ. So this candle here is exactly what we were talking about when we're waiting for it to reject. So this is what you'd be watching. You would watch the top of this candle here. If we don't break this and you're anticipating the drop, you know that this candle will then turn into effectively this idea here in the next couple of candles at that point. So it's something to be aware of. So the fact that this candle is now creating a wick, if it creates an upper wick and starts to go down, you've gotten your answer for how do we leave this area and then drop to this next area here. So that's something you have to watch. So if you're looking to take sells with GJ, you could probably take sells below here, this area here, have your stop wherever this wick stops over here, and then you have a positive risk to reward down to this level here. So it's something to keep in mind. But Raja had sell stops, so he's already in the trade.
Yeah, he did the cowboy thing today.
Yeah, like people talking about things are risky. It's that risk when things are only risky when you don't know the outcome. When you're over leveraged, when you don't understand why you're in the trade. Like a lot of people are in the same cells just because I took the cells, and they have no clue why they're in the cells. They're only in the cells because Raja's in the cell. And I know exactly what to do when price starts to go against me. Like right now, I'm closing 50% of my position here because we have to follow risk management.
Yeah, Raja. Good thing is you were looking for a small move. You're not expecting like 50 pips drop. So that's a risky trade, but in certain manner, you're good because you were looking basically 15, less than 30 pips. But if you zoom out, can you zoom out please on the 30 minutes? So basically what I'm looking is this area right here. It's a strong area right now because we have basically this area right here. It's gonna be hot water for team. So I'm not expecting GG to come back to retest this area to the downside. I'm more in the buys perspective for GG. I missed this move from London this morning because I saw this candle breaking down small support that we have here in the 15 and the 5 minute, but I didn't take the trade. But I was expecting to GG to come retest this area and from here continue moving. I wasn't expecting this heavy drop for this area right here, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
So I basically missed that move because my discipline, I wasn't looking for sales at that point.
I entered a position right on the pullback, but increased the lot size by 3 times because the stop's still the same. So just at the top of that current wick, just entered an even bigger position, thinking that it's still going to respect the trade. So I sort of played it that way.
That's good. Yeah, that's what Ted says, and I agree with that.
If you have 3 positions running, do you have to select the one to close? Yeah, I think Magic Keys closes multiple positions in, first out. If it's on the same pair, yeah, I'm not sure, because if you close half, it closes half on all positions. But if you close full, I'm not sure whether it's going to close everything at once or what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to close
everything. It closed everything, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've never tried that.
Yeah.
That must have came as a shock the first time you guys tried it. You're like, oh, what the hell? Closed everything?
Well, it says close full, so.
Yeah. Why we don't trade G? It's a beautiful setup. Well, I'm already in a trade.
I wonder how many people sold and got out of the trade as a second to retrace like that.
It's the reason why it spiked. We moved the market when Raja said he took a sell. Everyone jumped in.
Yeah.
I think that has something to do with it.
Nope. I got a sell stop at 132.590, so I'm waiting for that breakdown, and then.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, that's. I like that trade. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Someone said 300 people are selling and 2 are buying.
Yeah.
I'm taking profits now because I've got my 10 pips.
Oh yeah.
That's a nice play. Yeah.
You entered way up there.
Yeah, at the top.
Yeah, at the top. I waited. I always wait because I'll have a position, but I'd still give myself a chance to have a bottom of a position. You know.
Hey, excuse me, Ted.
Mm-hmm.
How come 590 is your sell stop?
Because that's the 30-minute. When it hits that 30-minute, that price, it's gonna be bearish at that point. The 30-minute candle.
Oh, got you. Cool.
Because I don't want to take a trade when we're still in bullish movement right now.
Yeah. And so your stop would be above the current 30-minute?
Yep.
Yeah.
More than likely won't need it if it does go bearish, but that's the thing. When you place sell stops, you're placing a sell stop because you believe you're going to drive through that price. So you're not really worried too much about having a stop loss, position at that point. You wait till your sell stop hits, and then evaluate where you are and what price is doing, because you might actually have to exit that sell stop right away too, because it's been hidden and it doesn't make any sense anymore. So it's not necessarily letting the trade ride out. It's, most sell stops or buy stops will push right through because you're basically breaking through a level at that point.
$4.4 million. Wow. I guess it's not that bad.
Oh my goodness, this is like snail.
I think US 30 ranges most New York sessions.
Excuse me.
It's ranging here. Let's go to the previous one. Add a little. Oh, this is a 4 hour. This New York session. Previous one was here, kind of trended up. Yeah, it's pretty tricky. A lot of wicks here and there.
Not much fundamentals today. US 30 is driven by the fundamentals most of the times.
Man, if my sell stop hadn't had activated, I wouldn't be in this trade. But I've managed my risk, that's a good thing. Like if this hits stop loss, I'm losing like $180. Really lowered down my risk.
It's going to financially ruin you.
Yeah, shit, man.
Hey, Rodney, you could have just closed it out when it triggered it.
Yeah, but it's still like I'm up like around 9,800 for the week. So it's
okay.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of like risk a little bit to
I like the trade, but I wanted to break the low of the day.
Yeah, me too.
That low of the day is going to be the super target if it breaks down.
No, you are already at the low of the day.
Ooh, GP Cat just died.
Mr. Raja.
Hey.
Why the US 30? I would think the NASDAQ is more suited for your personality type.
See, I don't know anything about NASDAQ, and I know 2% about US 30. So that's why I went with US 30. Like I've seen more US 30 charts floating around on social media and in the chats than I have NASDAQ. So it goes to the theory of relativity. Like, what do I relate to the most, NASDAQ or US 30?
Oh my goodness!
So why don't you might want to look at the chart and see which you relate to most.
Yeah.
Is that Iron Man?
No.
Just a thought.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Take a look, see what I find. Wow, GP Cat is just dropping here hard. Damn. Looks like pound is getting weak. GJ is about to flip here. Oh.
Well, here we go.
Oh, perfect. Perfect candle close.
Here we go.
So the previous 15-minute candle closed like a doji.
That's the problem.
Oh, that's a good problem. No, that's a very good problem because now you just hide this candle. You just hide this doji candle like this, and then you anticipate this current candle to form based on this one here, which would be going down. Magic.
Just let the key, so you don't mess like that.
And then you bring your stop down to above the 15-minute candle.
I will be waiting below 132.55.
Aggressive take profit be like 131,900 area.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's big move.
I'll wait for this to break and pull back and take some sells on that. And I'll do my trade for the day. Gold didn't do what I wanted. Shit.
Gold looks like it's going to fly.
Yeah, I think that was just a liquidity grab.
Mm-hmm. Massive one.
Looks like GPCAD leads, then GJ follows. I think that statement is a very immature statement to make when you're looking at currency pairs. Because GPCAD is influenced by CAD and the pound in New York session. So maybe CAD is getting stronger and pound is getting weaker, so it's moving faster. But GPJPY is only influenced by the pound in New York session. So you have to keep those things in mind.
I think we need to take a look at the Chinese indicator just to see if the CAD is doing what it's supposed to do.
Let's take a look here. Chinese indicator. Trustworthy Chinese indicator. It is saying, ooh, CAD is strong. That's why CAD is dropping. GBP is, it's a little there. Euro, it's saying is really weak. So, yeah, I know there's going to be some percentage of population that look at this and say, oh yeah, this is the way to trade. No, it's not. Price action.
I think oil is giving some strength to CAD. Let's see if it's enough. Ted, do you have any gold buys?
I had gold buys last night and this morning. I got stopped out already, so I'm not taking any more positions with gold. I did enough with gold.
Okay.
I want to take this GJ trade just so I can make Raja's highlight reel. Because we're all in GJ together, so I'm going to do that now.
I'm not there yet.
Not there yet.
I don't want to be a cowboy today. Oh, yeah.
We're going to get a move in the last 5 minutes of this 30-minute candle.
Yeah, I think so. If you get a move, it's going to be the last 5 minutes of the 1 hour.
And then the 1 hour candle starts at 9 o'clock. We'll give it a further push and then it'll pull all the way back.
Yeah.
Like that. 4 hour close.
There you go.
Ted's pressing the buttons over there, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Ted, you press the button.
This guy pressed the buttons.
Pressing the buttons.
Hold up. Wait a minute. It's a chopper. Pew, pew, pew.
Chopper.
Yeah, it's always the last 10 minutes or so something happens like that.
What are your thoughts on gold? I think gold has high spreads and it's untradeable for me. I'm not trading gold. I think it should go bullish. It should respect the support and go bullish.
Yeah, we've seen that happen enough times. That hour candle pulls all the way down, and the next hour candles after that just start to fly.
Oh, just flips.
Yeah, trust.
Oh, thoughts, please. All right. Let's get rid of this. Oh. AUD USD. Possible buys if price breaks resistance and forms support. Yes. Exactly. And if you see resistance forming, then it's possible sells. Maybe down to this area here. What's your potential TP? Well, if it starts to go bearish, I think I'm gonna start securing profits around 132, 500, 132, 470, 480. That's going to be a good place to secure profits. But this is the only trade I'm taking. I had a sell stop, got activated. Now I'm in it. I've already closed 50% of my positions when it came in a little bit of a drawdown to like 132,700. And if this 15 minutes starts breaking the low here, then I might add another sell. Because at that point, there's going to be high probability for it to continue down than to go up.
Giving me more ideas, Rakeel. Love it.
I have a sell stop below 55.
55.
Right there.
If the 30-minute closes bullish, will you close? Yes. If it closes bullish, I'm going to close everything and I'm going to call it a day.
I don't want to scare you, but I don't like the structure of the 5 minute. Yeah,
oh, that's fine. The only reason someone should be scared is if they are over risking and they're over.
Yeah, I agree.
So, so being scared.
That's what I'll tell you. It's good that you had the stop loss. You're not risking more than you don't want to lose.
Yeah, man.
What if they're over risking and they're not scared?
Then they shouldn't be trading. Then I should give them my PayPal and they should send that to me.
I agree. That's crazy. You're not scared.
Yeah, I just closed.
Yeah, I closed everything at this point as well.
Oh, your order got activated too?
Yeah,
you
I got
had
activated.
59, huh?
Yeah, at 132,590, I got activated. I lost 9 pips.
That's okay. Yeah, I don't like the structure right now. That level 600 is holding like a...
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Took a loss.
Oh well, one trade for the day and that's it. What's going on here on this chart? Oh, GJ, holy, what's this? Hold on. These aren't candlesticks. No.
Those are barcodes.
These are something you scan in Walmart. This is a support. Yeah. Yeah, I was really expecting this 15-minute to go bearish. It didn't. So then it got out.
Yeah, it did look pretty good for that, to be honest. I mean, it just seems like we're early, but
I was just about to say that.
I can see the next hour going bearish again, and then that completing the move down. But it's okay. I thought 590 would be a safe sell stop because it was below that support area. So if it would push through, but the 15-minute pulled back up. It's amazing how the guys on the stream never talk about how much they lose or make in monetary terms with pips. Okay, so
I lost $249 on this.
I lost $9,832.42.
But I'm up 9,000 some. Hold on, how much am I up this week?
Wow, the people! Oh my!
9,700. That's what I'm up.
That'll get them dead.
And I just sent your mom. And I just sent your mama for child support $502.39.
All right,
I'm
so
still.
You didn't have to do that, bro.
We're gonna remove Kevon here.
I'm still up 140,000 for the week though. So I lost 9,000, but my gold trade earlier made 9,900, so that canceled it out. And my previous gold trade made me $100,000, so I'm okay for today.
The problem is people focus way too much on the negative.
Man.
How many people did you just make cry, Ted?
Well, I mean, people ask stupid questions, I'll give them stupid answers.
And that's the problem. Why people focus on
Yeah, exactly. The
like,
focus is way too much on the negative. How much did you guys lose?
No, well, I think he was saying, well, why are we're not talking in part of dollar value? And it's like, well, I don't think the dollar value is relevant to most people because of the fact that they're in their 20s, and there's not many people that I know that are in their 20s that are making 6 figures, let alone 5 figures. So, I mean, I just try and keep it at an idea of like, hey, focus on a positive outcome and focus on making sure that your process was intact or your plan was there. I mean, the money doesn't matter. I mean, we're all in quarantine right now. I can't even spend my money. I buy stuff on Amazon. It takes like a week for it to show up. I don't want to wait a week for something. I want it now. Like look at the reactions of people. They're like, oh my gosh, money. It's like it's such a poor attitude to have. I know you're young and that's, you know, it seems like a lot, but man, there's bigger things in this world than a dollar. Because I mean, people are dying of that virus. Doesn't matter how rich they are, they're still dying. So it's just something to keep in mind. You know. And motivation, it's like you talk about, I went to school for 5 years in university, well, 4 years in university, and I went to work for 13 years in corporate, in finance. I mean, if you're 20 years old, you don't even have that experience. So, I mean, am I not supposed to be rewarded for all the work I put in before that? So when people talk about trading for 1 or 2 years and not being profitable, I worked for 13, 14 years and I wasn't profitable. And then I learned how to trade FX. So all my life experience of 14 years culminated into me actually doing something that I found out that I actually can do well in. So I think anybody who's in their 20s or, you know, 19, and I say this all the time, after about 10 or 12 years experience, I mean, then you'll realize what the real game is. Ted must be alone 100% of the time. Yeah, I actually enjoy solitary. I don't need people to validate my existence because anytime someone has tried to validate my existence, it's turned out to be wrong. So it's easier for me to validate my own existence. There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. So learn that definition. So if that's something you can take away from today's live stream, there's a difference between being lonely and being alone. I like being alone, but I'm not lonely. Let's put it that way.
Oh wow, look at this 15-minute candle close here. Damn, same thing.
God damn it, Carol Baskin.
It's all Carol Baskin's fault that it wicked me out twice.
And apply your head, Campbell.
Yeah, 4 hour also closed bearish. I mean, if this is going to be volume, I can't see this 4 hour closing bullish.
That's not going to.
No, but you may have a retest or 130, 132, 900s.
It is what it is.
And that's the problem, mate.
Hey, Roger, question.
Yeah.
If it does close below, let's say the 132, is it possible that you would get back in? Or are you just like, that's it, forget it?
Yeah, you know, the only reason I'm going to get back in is if for some miracle reason, if the 30-minute does exactly what I want, is if it closes like this. If it closes like this, then I'm getting back in 110%.
Okay, gotcha.
Because then...
Raja's got the Mac syndrome.
Yeah. This right here, this would be perfect, man.
Oh. Yeah, I think that's what we're all pretty much expecting for it to do. It's just toying with something right now.
Oh, someone donated $2. Thank you. I'm gonna figure out which non-profit YouTube sends all this money to. Must be Illuminati or something.
Make sure you choose Carowinds Foundation.
Yeah. If price stay below 132,669, then price possibly continue to move down. Yeah, that's the whole idea here too. That it just because it's printing bearish candles, it's retested this low here. It came down with momentum. There's volume right now in the market. This is the time when there's a lot of volume, you know, and you should get bigger candles printing. So if you were to look at this, I would just say there's a higher probability for price to continue down than to going up. And I think those entries were a little early. Yeah, I think those entries were early.
I think with that logic, going back to GJ, Raja, I think you need a break below this area now. I think having candles in this area it gets too rangy. The assumption was that this candle would break it, but now this candle's starting to break it, but it's still bouncing off this heavy support. So I think you would probably need a candle over here to then push down. I mean, this one could probably move it, but I think you need to really get away from this support area here, like this whole range essentially.
Yeah, you're right. Break up this area.
This could drop back down and pull right back up again, right? So that's why I'd be worried about taking another trade here, even though now you can probably place your stop right here, to be honest, and just see if you can snipe it on the way down if it starts to go bearish. But that's GJ. It does those stupid things.
And Ted, wouldn't you also argue that because the 4 hour just opened, you want it to kind of play out for about at least half an hour or so?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's another assumption as well, that if you are, you know, if you're going to do that, I mean, the idea, once again, your target is still down here. It's just this area here is troublesome right now. But I mean, if you can hold it, I mean, technically speaking, we could have held it because our stop was over here. I just don't like holding a bigger drawdown than necessary at that point, because my stop was basically 112 pips and my take profit was 18 at that point. So it was still positive risk to reward, but I saw it moving up, and I've seen a lot of times, and I saw this candle here too that sort of spooked me, that we were creating this wick to push up with this candle here. So I was like, I don't really want to get involved in that. I've seen that happen a lot of times, but it seems like now it's playing out if you're still in sells. And that's where, you know, when people say, well, you know, I wish I hadn't closed because it's going now in my direction. It's like, well, at the time I saw this, right? And one can argue that this candle was going bullish, and then the next candle would print and go bullish, and you basically had up, down, back, up again, right? So it's a valid concern, and I mean, that's part of risk management at that point too. Would you now be looking 15-minute close, 30-minute close below? Well, that's what I just explained, is you'd have to close below that support area. It seems like right now you have this area here of contention, right? So you can get in, your stop can be over here, your stop can be over here, but we're having a very difficult time breaking this area here. So it's just something to keep in mind. If you see it's bouncing, why not place buys? Okay, so that's a good question as well. If you do see it bouncing, my question is, how high do we bounce then, right? So where are we bouncing to? And is this enough candle confirmation, right? We've had one, two, three, four, five candles going down. I don't want to take a buy with just one candle on the way up, right? So I would want to see candles moving in this direction now, and then I can say my target could be here, but one candle here isn't enough confirmation for me to take a buy just because we're bouncing off this support. Similar to the other comment, which is the new 4-hour candle is forming, this could very well go up and then drop further down again. Just in the sense that when you're thinking about higher time frames, right? So your 4-hour candle is made by 4 1-hour candles, which are 2 30-minute candles, right? So there's a very good possibility that you might have your first hour, your first 2 30-minute candles, which is your first hour, which is 25% of your 4-hour, push up, creating that upper wick, and then your next 30 minutes starts to sort of bounce a bit. Then your other 30-minute, which is now your hour 3, starts to move further down, right? So that's how you would sort of formulate it in your mind as a story to say, okay, what's happening in the bigger time frame based on my 30-minute and based on my hour, and what do I anticipate further going down? And I've used up all 1,000 words for today because Raja was limiting everyone speaking to 1,000 words. What's the worst trading nightmare you guys have had? That I had $100 million in a Panama bank, and when I flew to Panama, the owner of the bank said that my money's gone, and I had a Colombian wife who was very angry with me because she expected to have us money, and now she said, what are we going to do? We have no money. And we were driving down a street one day, and she said to me, George, why don't you like me anymore? And when we got pulled over by the cops, she told the cops that there was a whole bunch of stuff in my trunk, and then I went to jail again, and she took my child. That's the worst dream I had with trading.
Wow, George. That's pretty scary, man.
The scary dream, man.
Scary dream.
Took the child. So, with this GJ, if someone's still in sells, and if this 30-minute candle breaks the low of the previous one here, then you could bring your stop down to this high. Because then you're going to see, if once it breaks the low here, then you're going to see it continue down here.
So Rakeel, do you use the actual wick or the body as, I guess, a indication whether or not you're going to sell or buy?
Well, first you need to know if you do know what a high or low of a candle is.
Oh, higher. Okay, sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah. So this is the low of the candle. Yeah. This is the high of the candle.
That's the body.
Once this candle breaks the low, then there are higher chances it's going to continue down, because if price is going to go down, it's going to make lower highs and lower lows. And if this candle breaks the low, then it's going to make a lower low, and it's already made a lower high.
That's what we get.
Yeah. See, we're all friends. All 2,000 people here come here every day at the same time. You all hang out, take trades. We look at some really weird charts. We look at some really nice charts. How did you survive the corporate career? I work at a top 5 UK firm, but I'm always tempted to leave. Wow. Then you got to find avenues to leave. I think I made a mistake when I left my job. I left my job when I had a nice, decent amount saved up, and I had 3 profitable months in trading, and I'm like, perfect. And that was a bad idea. I should have left when I made consistent returns for, I'd say, a year. That's when I should have left my job. Because when I left, then the pressure came onto trading to, pay for bills and everything, and that was just the worst spot to be in.
So how'd you get through it?
Well, I had to get through it.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing, right? You had to. That kind of feeling that
Yeah, but it's not a safe place to be at the same time too. Because when you're married with kids and you're in that position, that's very tough. See, so now that low is broken. So
yeah, it's looking better now.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. That thing.
It's looking good now.
Should continue bearish.
Let's see.
Yeah, we were just early
My
over
order
there.
got activated.
Oh, that financially ruined me.
My sell stop got activated.
Yep, same.
So then I guess your stops are above the current candle's high.
Yeah, indeed.
Perfect.
132.66.
10 pip stop with a 15, 16 pip gain. Super target all the way down there. Yeah.
11 pip stop.
Makes sense. Now the probability of GJ going bullish is very low.
Yes.
Extremely low.
And this is where, if you want to do trade management, you would jump onto your higher time frames and start mapping out. So this would be your 30-minute target right over here. 30-minute target. But now what you can start to say is this new higher time frame candle started, there might be a 4-hour target or a 1-hour target in mind. So this is how you can map out your trade. But you realize your stop, if you took trade here, your stop is, over here. This is your stop loss. Your take profit is already, you've already done sort of a proper risk to reward. So now you have to determine, okay, do I want to take that, as it comes down to this level here, or do I want to extend it? And if I extend it, I move my stop loss into profits and I accept where it goes on the higher time frame at that point.
Yeah, 132, 350 is my target.
Yeah, this is going to be this is your my original target was this area right here. That was my original target.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
About 420, I guess that is. Reason being is I don't like to have my trade go into the wick because I don't know where it'll actually finish. So just before the wick, And then, like I said earlier on the stream, you'd have a mirror candle here.
Exactly. That's my point.
Nice one.
Nice drop. Nice drop.
Yes. I'm glad I got stopped out. It's great. Yeah.
See, I'm gonna say this was expected, which it was. It's just those wicks were too early.
You're gonna piss off. You're gonna piss off Instagram. Well, you can't call the trade after the fact.
We close 50% right here because the 15 minutes doesn't have any bottom wick.
Yeah. See, if you did enter here at the break of this previous candle, you still got almost like 9, 8.
Yeah, I'm already.
Oh, it's gonna continue to run now. Like there's no doubt in my mind it's gonna continue to run. It's just the lesson here for me was I should have just kept my stop loss here, and then it would have just bounced around and come back down, and I would have been in the trade. I would have won. So that's my lesson. Can't have it both ways.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Yeah, GJ was just being suspicious.
Beautiful.
This is gonna drop.
Raja and Tad, I took this trade also, and I want to hear your thoughts on possibly how you guys could have maybe waited on it and why I waited on it. But I waited on this because when you guys got in, the support was never broken at the significant level. I executed just now because it broke the lows below support.
Yeah, so you're needling us. Yes, carry on though. No, go ahead.
I just want to know.
Not just joking.
I logged on when you guys were already in the trade. I just want to know why it was taken.
Because the idea for me is we had this massive rejection over here as that previous 30-minute candle was started. I had a sell stop at 132.590. Rakeel's sell stop was over here on the anticipation that this candle, this 30-minute candle, was going to do what this 30-minute candle is doing right now, or at least break below and then have this next candle start. The issue arose from the fact that this candle during 30 minutes, in a matter of 5 minutes, went up 10 pips and then went back down 10 pips. If it had finished this way, I would have been fine and I would have continued on my trade. But when we were in the trade, it was finishing over here bullish. And it was literally the last 2 minutes it finished with this indecision here to go further down. That's the only reason why I exited the trade. If I had gone to get like my my orange juice and I saw this finish here, I would have been like, yeah, that's fine. I don't care, because I know that this next wick would have never popped up here. Now the argument comes, well, why didn't you re-enter the trade? I mean, I was looking to take the trade based on my original idea. I had already had a positive trade for the day, and if this support didn't break, why am I punishing myself again, so to speak, right? If I was still in the trade, then I'm okay. It's the fact that I have to now re-enter and navigate this wick over here, which it possibly could have come up all the way over here again. That's what I wanted to avoid, because I was already in from the previous candle. I don't want to have to try and navigate a new candle. I would have rather still been in at that point. So it's a combination of me not holding to my stop loss and allowing the trade to run, because this was basically a 12 pip stop with an 18 pip gain. And you can see that it did hit what it hit. And now looking on the higher time frame, you could probably extend this trade now to probably down over to here.
Well, you did say the next hour.
Yeah, this is where I close as well.
Yeah. Nice.
The thing is, we already are penetrating that resistance, or we broke the support and we penetrate the previous resistance. So yeah, I might continue going downtown.
Yeah, I think Glenn, your idea was I've seen you take these trades over and over again, and you're getting pretty successful at these trades. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, impulse entries in general are complicated. I took a pretty serious loss last night in Asian for something I was very confident in when it was an impulse trade. So I always find it interesting when you guys take it. I just thought it was early when you guys got in, because we didn't break this. It wasn't below support yet. But then I just found out it was a sell stop.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if that's a sell stop for me, I was waiting for I was expecting it to break through that area here. Like in all honesty, I was expecting this area to break in the last candle, and then this wick here, I was expecting it to start over here somewhere to then just drive down. It's just the wick was a little bit higher than anticipated. And to your point too, if I hadn't put a sell stop and I waited for the next hour candle and figured out this, I could have easily taken that trade, because I did say earlier on in the stream that we needed this upper wick. If you go back to the earlier replay, not for yourself, but for other people listening, I did say that that's what I wanted to see when this candle was forming here.
Yeah, it was perfect. Your stop loss ended up being like 10 pips for me.
Exactly.
So wick for the 4 hour. So I wasn't nervous about taking a trade before the wick was made.
Yeah, and the idea behind that, once again, is going through here, but more importantly, this area over here, which we talked about earlier in the stream, this would have been probably the highest it would have wicked, which you can see right here. And then if you use this area here as a zone, this candle now over here has left that zone, so you know you're safe, and we've popped back into this zone right over here. And you can see how this candle tapped into it and then pulled back right away. So that's the reason why when I say when it comes to fill this body over here, when it fills the like the top part of that range, that's usually where my take profit is, because I don't like when it pulls back up here and I start losing profit. But ideally at this point, you can say, okay, this is a pullback for now my next 30-minute candle to do this, right? So you can play both sides of the coin at that point. It just depends on what your trade management is and what you're looking to financially gain at that point.
Yeah. The only mistake I made here, I don't even know if it's a mistake, but I closed 75, 80% when the 15-minute closed without a wick.
No, that makes sense. That's totally accurate, because of the fact that your initial 15-minute candle drove down, and the idea, and I see this a lot too, is the next 15-minute candle will pull back up. And the special thing about this 15-minute candle is we're heading towards the New York Stock Exchange open, so you might get a little bit of a weird pullback as we head towards 9:30. And if you back test this a lot of times, the 9 o'clock hour, usually the 15-minute candle gives you a nice hard move, and the next 15-minute candle sort of goofs around, and then probably in minute 22 or minute 23 of the 9 o'clock hour, you start to get some resemblance of a move again. And then 9:30, all hell breaks loose, because the equity market opens and you don't really, sometimes you get a clean move, but for the most time it's very rangy. And then 10 a.m., the continuation of this move takes over again, and we get a continuation of that.
You see, that's what makes this streaming different. Ted just give you the entire breakdown how the market behaved at this time. You know,
yeah, I mean, I think that's
you know
the
how long time took me to understand that about 2 years.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if you're very acutely aware of the entire story for the session that you're trading in, you start to notice these nuances. And like I said, it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens enough of the time for you to be aware of it and cognizant of it. And especially when you're dealing with a pair with GJ where it pulls up really hard for, not no reason, but this is an exaggerated move, to be honest, right? I mean, you look over here, now all of a sudden we rip back up like, 10 pips, and you're like what happened in 15 minutes? Now suddenly we're going back the other way. That's the big issue with GJ, and it's the reason why when Raja talks and I talk, it's like you really have to hit your targets and really keep trade management under control, because once again, you miss this exit here, you're donezo, because now you're going right back up to here again. And for the people that missed the original entry over here, you're like, hey, I can take another 30-minute candle push down over here and literally double dip at that point if I wanted to. So it's nuances and little things like that.
Yes, sir. Guys, thank you kindly. Thank you, Ted. Very nice explanation. Raja, gang, thank you very much. Take care. Stay safe. Stay strong.
Thank you. I'm gonna log off too. Take care, everybody. Have a safe flight.
Wow.
Alrighty.
God damn it.
Thank you.
Wow, tapped in that area, man, and boom.
Yeah, man. Amazing, isn't it?
That was perfect.